Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In the last video, we installed a Centos7 server on Oracle VirtualBox. We realized that our Centos7 server could not pick up an IP address from the DHCP. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to solve that problem and how to do basic post-installation configurations. So let's power on our server. We'll click on this green arrow and we'll wait for the server to come up and we'll take it from there. So our server is coming up. Now our server is up, so I'll log in as student. Now we are in. Clear my screen real quick and we'll check what the IP address is. So we can see that the server doesn't have an IP address. It doesn't pick up an IP address automatically. And if we try to ping anything, it's not going to work. Let me ping my default gateway. And let's see what we'll get. It's not working, which means I can't even ping out of the network. Let me try to ping Google. It's not going to work, but I just want to show it to you. So it's not working. It can work because this server doesn't have an IP address, so it can communicate with other systems on this network or with systems out of this network. So there is a way to pick up a dynamic IP address from the DHCP by running a single command, and that command is, if you do a sudo dh client and then our nick, so our nick in this case will be enp0s3. Put in our password. If we were to check the IP address again, we will see that it has picked up an IP address, which in this case is 10.0.2.15. If we try to ping again, we will see that it's working. So we can ping Google, which is good. Let's try to ping the default gateway and see what we are going to get. It's also working. That means our server now has an IP address and it can communicate with other systems on the network. But the problem with this method is that it cannot survive a reboot. If I were to turn off this server and turn it on again, that IP address will no longer be maintained by the server. So it picks it up just as long as the server is up and running, But if I were to reboot the server, the IP address will go away. But normally when we have a server, we want the server to have a static IP address. We don't even want the IP address to be changing. So this method was just to show you how you can easily pick up an IP address just to use it for the moment. But the way things are done is that servers usually have static IP addresses. So in order to have a static IP address for this server, we are going to go into this file and do some changes. So we'll go into etc sysconfig network scripts ifcfg so we go into that file. If we take a very close look, we'll see that there are some options here that we need to change. So let's start at the top. So the boot proto is DHCP. That tells us that the server should pick up an IP address from the DHCP. DHCP means Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So it's a system on the network that gives out dynamic addresses to other systems. So the server by default is set to pick up dynamic IP addresses from DHCP. But the reason why it doesn't do that when we start the server is because of this parameter. This parameter is, it says that on boot equal to no. It means that at boot up, it shouldn't pick up any IP address. So let's change this to yes. And then let's change DHCP to static. And then we are going to add some other lines in here. So the IP address that we want to have, we want the server to have an IP address of 129.168.0.12. We want the net mask to be 255.255.255.255.0. We want the DNS. We can put two DNS lines in there. So the first one, we want it to be 8.8.8.8. That is Google's DNS. So that is what the server will be using to resolve host names. We can have DNS2 as 8.8.4.4. That's the second Google DNS server. And then now we can have the default gateway equal to 192.196.0.1. Okay, everything looks good. So I'm going to save this real quick. And then I'll restart the network. Let me clear my screen real quick. I will restart the network. Sudo systemctl restart. network. Let us check the IP address again and see what it is. Now it has our desired IP address, which is 192.168.0.12. And if we were to reboot this server, the IP address won't change. So let's try rebooting the server and see if the IP address will change. So let us sign in. The IP address is maintained, so that's good. So the next thing we want to do right now is to give it a host name. So go into this file. Let's see host name. We are going to start with the IP address. Sorry, we are going to remove what is there right now and give it what we want. So I will just remove this one. We want the host name of this server to be Centos7 tutorial. Centos7 tutorial. So that's the host name I want to give the server. I will save that. If we check real quick, Centos7 tutorial. So that's the new host name. And then we can also edit the etc host file. So we are going to add a new line in there, which will start with the IP address of the server, 6 6 68.0.12, and then the host name is Centos7 tutorial, and we save and quit. I will reboot the server one more time so that the changes should take effect. Okay, the server is up now. So at this point, I don't even need to log in using the console again. I'll use an SSH client, which in this case is body. So the IP address is 192.168.0.12. Did I miss something? Let me try. Okay, then I'm going to have to do some troubleshooting here. Let me see. Okay, config 7. Let me try to ping that IP address. So we are going to have to change the network settings from NAT. So currently it is set to a NAT. That means network address translation. We are going to change that to bridged adapter because we want our CentOS server and our laptop to be on the same network. So we are going to take enter, OK, and if we try to ping our server, it's going to ping. So we'll enter our IP address and we'll hit enter. Now we can log in as student. Let me change the font size real quick. Appearance, change, take 12. Okay, apply. So everything that we can do on the console, we can also do through this terminal, this SSH terminal. So let's check the IP address real quick. See, the IP address is what we want it to be. So the last thing that I'm going to do right now will be to update the server. So I'm going to run this command. I'm going to run a sudo yum update -y. So it is going to update the server. This is going to take a while. So this is going to take a while. I'm going to stop the video here. Normally this should run without any problems. If it started running, it should run without any problems. So this is the last step in the post installation step that I wanted to show. So thank you very much for watching this video, and in the next video I'll be showing you how to use this Centos7 server to install like an Apache web server. So now our server is ready for use. We can use it to host a web application. We can use it as a database server. We can use it as an application server. So we can use it for whatsoever we want to use it for. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.